Hello everyone, and welcome back to Stardew Diaries. Um, we don't have any guests today. It'll be just us, and we can finally go back to some of my regular topics that I wanted to talk about. And it's going to be all about esports today, mainly League of Legends and Valorant. Um, and how they inspire me and motivate me despite not not running for like I don't want to be like a pro player. It would be great if I started a career there, or like if I'm like insanely talented, but I am a fairly competitive person. And it would have been great. Like, I think my ideals now fit perfectly an esports team, like healthy communication, like teamwork skills, and yada yada yada, and like being accountable and all that stuff. I think in a different timeline, I may well be a an esports player, um, and I think that will be a very fun job to be in. I'll probably play League, but I'm not quite sure because I can't do like um I honestly can't do what do you call this? FPS shooters. I'm not particularly good. I mean, Marvel Rivals, I'd say I'm pretty okay with it. I'm not terrible at it. I've never tested like to play it like in a big group though, or like in a team basis. It's just me and my partners duo queuing um, Marvel Rivals. But with it hit like diamond rank in a couple of months, and I think it's great. So I'm gonna start talking about like I'll try not to fanboy too much on T1, but T1 will be definitely a huge talking point here. But and I'm not really quite sure. I may sound like fanboyish, and it really is the case. And I just want to like share my thoughts on things and stuff like that. But anyways, we just started our day, and I really need to get some money rolling. These are good. We definitely need more. So I think today we need to amp up our um, barrel situation or preserves jar situation, and I think I'm starting to get like a little bit of a vision going on here. I think we want to make our bottom left quadrant of the four corners farm a like maybe our fish area, and I might actually move the main house there because I like the idea that we live in a corner, but it does make running back and forth from from the fish pond back to home like a bit difficult, but um we'll see how it goes. But anyways, there's plenty of stuff to do, plenty of stuff to farm for. Right now, let's farm the easiest one, which is wood, which will definitely help us get more preserves jars, and because we're gonna have a lot more fish ponds very very soon. Gonna start really pulling in like a lot of them, or building a lot of them. Robin will be busy. So those are my plans, because I'm not really able to talk about Stardew Valley when we have guests involved. I actually was supposed to have one today, but I think they're just asleep. As I mentioned before, there's a holiday here in the Philippines. I'm not sure if Americans or other countries celebrate it too, but we call it the Holy Week. I'm not really quite familiar with the culture, but more or less it's like people thanking Jesus for taking our sins, something like that. I am so sorry if I don't know. I really don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm not really familiar with Christian or Catholic lore, so my deepest apologies for that. Um, but yeah, so we have all these stuff here. I think we have some seaweeds. Well, not enough for another fish pond, but definitely we can get something started. So catfish is still here, alive and healthy. More catfishes here. Okay, we have all these. I think we need to farm for some fish because we actually have some spare time today, and that's my goal. And let's sell all the fish right away because well, let's try to get as much sea jellies as possible because we have a lot of river jellies. We have a lot of oh, we don't have any cave jellies, and we really need to. I need to start saving up for a smoker, so because that will be our main source of income, um, moving forward. So I'll start working on that and earn some money, and buy some more seeds maybe. Um, I think whatever crop that we have already is good enough. Um, we'll definitely wanna upgrade if I wanna like have more crops for fall. I would definitely wanna upgrade our um what do you call it? Our um oh, a watering can, but here we go. What's about here? Oh, it's just Mayor Mars causing some trouble in Stardew Valley. Anyways, oh, thought the cutscene was over. But yeah, so how is esports related to my aspirations and stuff like that? There's really quite a lot, about it, I am a huge fan of T1 ever since, they won their first Worlds. I wasn't particularly a huge fan of esports before that. I just got really into the hype back then, and I never really let go, ever since. And, you know, it's weird, because I was always like a T1 fan. Filipinos are familiar, and a lot of Filipinos, like especially League of Legends players, are very familiar with T1 and who they are and stuff like that. It's very, very common. And actually, let's not go there. We don't really have the inventory space to pick up stuff. I think that's the first thing I need to do. I think I need to upgrade my backpack because I cannot handle, like, oh my goodness, so much mess in my inventory. Oh, I think it's gonna start selling me the iridium rod, which I also need to get as soon as possible. But yeah, so T1 had it's been actually been kind of like part of my childhood, really. And whenever they win, I would cry, especially if they're winning like major tournaments. And whenever they lose, I also cry because I just feel so bad for them. Faker especially because, he's been playing the same game for about more than 10 years now. And, he's still out there. He's like a veteran player. And there's like new generations of people that are, generations of pro players just are, entering the league. But it's, he's still playing and he's still winning. And he just won the, Worlds last year. And it's just a commitment and a testament to how working hard will get you places. Now, I don't aspire to be as big as Faker, in terms of whatever I want to do, but it would be great to, leave a mark and then just have that spot in the world where you know that not necessarily the best, but you're inspiring and contributing a lot of other people. Because I think there's a culture in Korea that, gaming is a culture and like an part of their, again, part of their identity is like, it's a huge deal for Koreans. And whenever they win, like, international tournaments, it's, they're very proud of it. And I think that's a very beautiful thing, as a hardcore gamer, I think that's it's somewhat reassuring because, normally people don't, like normal people like that aren't into the gaming world, think of gamers as people that waste time all day and stuff like that. And I never saw it that way. I always saw playing video games as a way to cope and as a way to learn and stimulate your mind. Um, as good as learning and working hard every day is, you also need time for yourself and like rest and some fun other activities. And sometimes it can be like playing, let's say playing League of Legends in a competitive way. You use up a lot of brain juice for that. It stimulates your mind, critical thinking, decision making. If you're spending time with your friends, those friends could be, in the future, your partners at work. I've heard, you know, um, some company that I am familiar with before, their boss plays. I forgot where I heard this anecdote from, but their boss plays CS:GO, and they're pretty old, and a lot of their employees are the same. And after shift, I hear them playing in a computer shop, and one of my friends were familiar with them, and they basically were playing like old Counter Strike at a computer shop, and you know, it's a way to bond and socialize and make connections. It's not just a game. Oh, it is, but what I mean is it could be more depending on just your perspective on it. I play video games to immerse myself and learn and or relax, especially if it's like a narrative-driven game. Like Life is Strange is, one thing that really changed me and Chrome's life for the better. We became really introspective and like we that experience like broke us both. Like that's like a really huge deal with our friendship together, and those kinds of games, they change you. You become a lot more um aware of like of the world and like well, not aware of the world, but you know what I mean. Like you are more um you learn stuff from those, even those are tragedies. Like, and not just the stories themselves, even the experience. You can learn a lot from the experience. Like I'm playing Stardew Valley here. I can break down the game mechanics of this game, and like how I think they may be coded, and that alone is stimulation. But if you're a person that doesn't think about those, then you'll miss out on that enlightenedness. It's all a matter of perspective, and just immersing yourself into an activity can definitely change what you get out of it. Like this freaking fish. It's like so slippery. I hope you guys are understanding what I mean. Like, you can be like a regular League of Legends. I think this is a legendary fish. What is that? It was so fast. Oh my goodness. But yeah. So you could be like a regular casual League of Legends player, but then also, you could aim to be like a professional, like enter the league and stuff like that, and go pro. Oh my goodness, this fish is crazy. I would be very happy if I catch that fish, but it's very unlikely that I'm able to do so. It's very slippery, but let's give it a go. Huh? No. I don't even know that fish, but the symbol is different, so I assume it's special. We're getting a lot of seaweeds here. Now we get a choice. Do we try to get a fish smoker, or do we just make more preserves jars and make more, what you call it? What do you call it again? Those fish ponds. Yeah, I think, no, I think it's still better to make these. My problem with the fish smokers, they use up 1 coal each time, which is a bit of a bummer because we're gonna be using a lot of coal. If you remember earlier, we have about 200 iron ore just laying around at base. Eventually, we will need to start manufacturing those into other useful things. And yeah. So another thing that inspired me very recently, which actually was the catalyst for one of the things that I really wanted to change with my approach, with like social groups and like how I express myself and how I lead as a person. Um, I remember like sharing here like I had this epiphany or like this realization on how I can change my perspective, and that approach I think was received fairly positive. I am still not quite sure what are the effects of it long term, but the reception of it was positive. I think everyone in my inner circle group understood the point that I was trying to make, and generally a consensus had been made, and hopefully things are smoother in the future. With my group, I cannot actually provide much more context other than that. You just have to, you know, there are some things that I cannot share. Like if it involves other people, that's one of my rules. I will not share those. I value the privacy of others. This may be my diary, but I will not openly share private stuff that is related to other people unless they give me permission to do so. That's why there are some things in my relationship that I haven't even started talking about because I believe it will be a breach of privacy to my partner, and I'd like to avoid that. so so yeah, actually, I'm not going to sell any of these for now because we might hit level 5 for farming, and that's going to give us a lot of boost when it comes to selling what you call it, artisan goods. So we're gonna keep that for now. So right now we need a lot more coal, wood, and stone. But honestly, we can. I'll remember this. So so I remember. I will be carrying the stone with me at the end of the day, so that I remember to. Ooh, we have so many seaweeds. We can make so much fish ponds. Unfortunately, we don't necessarily have enough money to make it more fish ponds, but um, it's something to look forward to. I guess we could start selling some stuff. Alright, let's go sell these. I know I did just say that I want to save them up, but um ooh, maybe I should plant these already actually. Summer squash seeds. Sure, let's plant 8 of them. I really don't want to sell these, but they're also kinda like taking up space. We have so many seaweeds. Oh my goodness, we have 15 seaweeds. That's like 3 fish ponds. So that's good. So I'm not really sure what other stuff we can sell. Oh my goodness, magma geodes are expensive. Oh, who knew? Uh, there aren't really a lot for me to sell to reach 5k. I mean, fine. Maybe I should start selling the fish. I mean, it's going to help me anyway, right? I'll try to keep a few around. Eels are surprisingly not as expensive as I thought they would be. Like, this starfish is like a lot more expensive. Oh, never mind. Never mind. So how much is this anyway, like right now? So 200, 980. Still not enough. It's still like need like 3,000 more. Um, let's just organize a little bit. I could sell these, but they're pretty useful for crafting. I have so much ore. I do not think I use it that much. I think I can also make some like tree taps. I think I do need to start farming tree taps. I think it will be useful for some other stuff. So I could actually make some sprinklers. Interestingly enough. So let's make 2 because we have those 2 squashes ready, right? So let's go plant these and water them as well. So let's not forget the watering can. Because why not, right? We have some spare resources available. Why not plant some stuff? So I think they can go here. There you go. And let's go plant all these here. I think I'm gonna make it. No, I'm not. I need to eat something. Oh, that's a shame. We can sell this as well. Why not? Let's eat a single potato. That's 100 gold. Never mind. Let's save that potato. It's like no value. Here's one. Just eat that one. So yeah. Wanted to talk about another thing with esports. Lately, I've been such a huge fan of. I'm not quite sure if this will translate well with a lot of our with people that watch this, but I'm a huge fan of Los Ratones. So they are basically like a professional team. They are like a professional team playing in Europe League of Legends. And they stream all of their games. They're mostly content creators and ex-pro players in Europe, but um, and they stream all of their scrims, basically their practice matches, all of their most of their meetings, and all of their games. Like they release their communications, like their comms, and that's very important for a team to keep private because you're giving away your strategies and your ideas. But it's such a interesting um like content for me because it shows people who are determined and a group of people that are working towards a single goal. People can have egos, people can be emotional, people could have mental issues, and all of those you have to take into consideration when you're trying to reach for a goal. I am the same. I'm trying to build something with my friends, work on projects, and and build a long-term friendship with them in the future, onto hobbies that we enjoy together. And they're basically the same thing. I mean, actually, they're a lot more serious on it, but sometimes in their streams and their games, they have genuine arguments and like disagreements in game. But whenever I watch them, I watch through all of the nasty and dirty stuff because you learn a lot. You realize a lot because a lot of people hate confrontation, but they love um, being selfish and egotistic, But and they hate being called out. Uh, and as a leader of my current like social groups, or I mostly find myself on leadership positions on most social groups. Otherwise, I would be the one that's just standing back and like watching everything else unfold. I'm either the leader or a bystander. And in my case, like I prefer to be like a leader because I wanna, I have passions and goals and dreams, and I can't do that by myself. So I have to look for people that have this same, you know, mindset and hobbies, or like are willing to go with me with my journey and like my goals in the future. And just watching Los Ratones, um, they reveal so much, and it's very interesting because some of the de-escalation tactics or communications um, techniques that they use is very applicable to social relationships, to social groups, and I just find that very interesting. And there are also flaws to each player or each person in that team, even their coach, but it never feels personal. Like all of them are working on the same goal, and whenever they're like a family, Like sometimes you disagree with them, but at the end of the day, they're the people that you're with, and you can't really get away from them, or you can, but it's basically giving up on your dream. But um, you just feel this sense of camaraderie, and it's very difficult to find those kinds of people that are, even though sometimes egotistic and narcissistic and selfish, are willing to put all those down to get the job done. And you can always improve on efficiency, and you can always talk about how to be better. But it's, those clashing personalities are very, very interesting to watch. This may be all for content, but I think their resolution tactics is still very interesting to me and intriguing. And it's the same technique that I started doing with my party and with my friends. And perhaps when I, become a leadership position or get promoted to a leadership position in my office, like, I'd remember those and, like, watch how a person needs to de-escalate a situation, or let's say how to handle problems in a team, or how to do organizational skills, or how to present and take accountability if it's for yourself or if it's for another person, how to talk to them when you need to reprimand them or give them reminders, things like that. And you learn a lot, and it's just immersing yourself. Again, you could just take that as content for, watching YouTube, watching old pro players try to make it big again, you know and just be able to hear their communications and stuff, and they're just streamers and you can be fans of them. But if you take then if you take it to another layer, you can internalize the content and hobbies and games that you watch or play, and you can turn it to something meaningful to yourself and use that to grow yourself. I know this may sound like an excuse to just watch YouTube videos all day, but you know at least I'm making most out of my time, other than doom scrolling or doing other stuff that doesn't really benefit me or help me grow as a person. So just, if you're into something, that's why I always say, if you're into something, if you have a hobby, just keep going at it, immerse yourself in it, make it part of who you are. If it's something that you really want, and opportunities will come afterwards, as long as you put the right mindset into it, you'll do fine. Anyways, I'm not really sure where I'm going. But it's been a great day so far. Well, yesterday was a bit tipsy turvy. I just spent the entire day sleeping, and then for today, my day just had begun, and I got some stuff lined up for today, and I hope you guys have some too. It is a Sunday for us after all, and hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are have spent time with your family and friends. Um, Go play some games or watch a movie or a series, things like that, and goodbye. I know it's a bit a yappy session, but whatever. Ooh, not close enough, but we need 5,000 gold. I'll try to get it tomorrow.